Hey everyone, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're actually going to look at the hidden rules that completely dictate our everyday physical world. We're going to take those invisible forces that quietly shape our reality and, well, make them totally visible. So, part one, the everyday physics mystery. To kick things off, I want you to think about the deeply mundane, like incredibly ordinary physical stuff in your life that you've probably never paused to question. For example, why doesn't a stationary football just start rolling by itself? Think about it. You place it on a flat patch of grass, the air is perfectly still, literally no one is touching it. What does it do? Absolutely nothing. If nothing interferes, it stays exactly right there, forever. We completely accept this as normal, right? But have you ever stopped to ask exactly why nature behaves this way? Now contrast that quiet, peaceful stillness with this. Why do passengers lean forward when a car suddenly stops? Try to recall that bodily sensation for a second. You're in the passenger seat, you're cruising down the street, and bam, the driver slams on the brakes. Your seatbelt locks up, and your upper body violently lurches forward. Why does your body seemingly betray you, just fleeing itself toward the dashboard when the car itself has already stopped moving? Well, that brings us to section 2, defining Newton's first law. And here is the grand reveal. That stationary football just minding its own business on the grass, and your body lurching forward in a braking car, they are governed by the exact same scientific rule, Newton's first law. It states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion continues moving in a straight line at constant speed, unless acted upon by an external force. It is a fundamental law of the universe. In short, objects are remarkably stubborn. They just want to keep doing exactly what they're already doing. The absolutely crucial point here really boils down to one single word, and that word is inertia. Inertia is simply the property by which every object resists changes in its motion. Whether the object is completely still or flying through the air at high speeds, inertia is the reason it aggressively resists any change to its current state. So this law sets up a beautifully simple kind of binary reality for us. On one hand, we have an object at rest. On the other, we have an object in motion. If it's resting, it fights being moved. If it's moving, it fights being stopped or turned. It's like a universal reality of pure resistance. Let's look at section 3, the bus experience explained. Let's actually put this into practice. Imagine you're standing in the aisle of a crowded public transit bus. The bus suddenly accelerates forward. Because of inertia, your body is trying to maintain its previous state, which was, standing perfectly still. So because your feet are being pulled forward by the floor of the bus, but your upper body insists on staying put, you fall backward. It feels like you're being violently thrown, maybe into the poor person behind you. But in reality, your upper body was literally just trying to mind its own business and stand still. Now contrast that with braking. The bus suddenly stops, but your body, it tries to keep its previous state, which was moving forward at, say, 30 miles per hour. The floor stops, but you keep going, meaning you uncontrollably lurch forward. Actually, that stubborn inertia is exactly why seatbelts are the single most important safety feature in literally any vehicle. Moving right along to section 4, the stationary book. We've talked a lot about motion, but let's firmly cement the at-rest half of the law. Think about the absolute stillness of a heavy textbook just sitting on a flat desk. A book lying on a table will never, ever move unless something pushes it. Without human intervention, or a gust of wind, or, an earthquake, its state of rest is entirely permanent. It could theoretically sit there for 1,000 years. The book remains at rest purely due to inertia. But then you reach out and slide it across the table. That simple act perfectly connects back to our formal definition. Your hand explicitly acts as the external force. It is only through that specific external force that the book's state of rest is finally broken, overcoming its inertia. Which brings us to section 5, the power of inertia. All right, it's time to bring all of this together. If you take just one concept away from this entire explainer, it absolutely should be this. Every object resists changes in its motion. This simple, stubborn resistance is basically the skeleton key to understanding countless everyday events around us. It's the invisible thread tying the whole universe together, dictating the behavior of massive planets orbiting the sun just as much as a tiny coffee cup sitting on your kitchen counter. The beautiful thing about this is that physics is truly everywhere. These aren't just dry, abstract definitions trapped inside some dusty textbook. They are real, powerful forces that you and I interact with every single day. Once you understand the rules of the game, you really start seeing the mechanics of reality playing out in real time all around you. So now that you know exactly how to look for inertia, what other invisible forces are shaping your every move today? Keep your eyes open, start questioning the mundane, and try looking at your world through this newly awakened lens. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep exploring.